Welcome to the first lesson. Here we will talk about Notion database concept and start building the Habit Tracker project. In the end of this lesson, you will have an idea of Notion databases, why this feature is so powerful and how you can use it. After finishing the practical part, you will have a Notion page with trackers database in it. Your database will have columns for its tracker name and 7 days of week with either checkboxes or emojis to track your daily habits progress. So let's start. Databases. Database in Notion is the way to structure and organize any similar pieces of data, like books, data about clients, projects, weekly reports. Database might sound boring, but in fact it allows you to organize your life in a beautiful and well-structured way. Let's see an example. This is a movies database. Every row represents a distinct movie and columns describe properties of movies, like genre, year of production, how they're rated, etc. Pretty similar to what Google Tables or Excel can do. At some points, Notion is less capable and less flexible than these tools, but it has a great advantage over them in how you can customize the way your data is shown and operated. Also, unlike Google Tables, every database record in Notion is actually a separate page itself. You can open it, add some content into it, and add it as any other Notion page. You even can put inside another database. So Notion gives you huge freedom on structuring your data. Okay, with Notion you can see your data as a table, with rows for records and columns for particular record properties, but there are some other interesting view options. Let's check them out. The board view allows you to create a Kanban-style board, which is perfect for tracking a step-by-step progress of your tasks, projects, publications for social media, and any type of data which has a step-by-step workflow. With this view, you can use drag and drop to easily make, for example, status changes. Also, you might want to use board view to see your data grouped by categories. Optionally, you can add a picture to your record preview to make it more attractive or informative. The timeline view represents data similar to Gantt charts, and it's suitable if you want to see time frames of your projects, employee vacations, or pretty any type of data which has both start and end dates. The calendar view is good for tracking your deadlines, important events, seeing the whole month workload, etc. The list view is the most minimalistic one. It works perfectly for any types of lists, like tasks for today, shopping lists, project wiki, course outlines, etc. The gallery view is perfect for books, movies, wish lists, recipes, outfits, and other types of data which might be easily visualized. In Notion, you can configure several different views for the same database and switch between them. Notion allows you to apply filtering and sorting rules for a particular view. You can make Notion to filter out movies you have already seen, or if your friends ask you for a movie recommendation, you can filter your movie database to only see the top-rated movies. In this class project, we will use the filtering for several cases, for example, to only see the habit trackers related to the current week. Another powerful Notion feature is possibility to create linked views for a database. It allows you to work with the same database on different Notion pages. And this feature opens incredible possibilities in organizing your workspaces and workflows in Notion. Let's imagine you have a database with your tasks, and there is a Today page on which you want to only see a list of tasks for today. But on the Planning page, you want to see all the uncompleted tasks together with their deadlines. It is possible with Notion. And note that updating database on one page will make changes to other pages with this linked view of tasks database. Like if we add a new task on the Planning page and assign it for today, it will automatically appear on the Today page. Or another case, you have database for your projects and another database for your tasks. And on a project page, you want to only see tasks related to this particular project. It is possible with Notion and its database relation feature, together with templates. You even can place several linked views for the same database on the same page. Let's imagine you want to see waiting, in progress, and completed tasks as 3 separate lists on the same page. Linked view and filters will do that for you. Moreover, you can use drag and drop to move a task between the lists. Notion will change task status implicitly, according to filter settings. I hope now you're much more inspired on how Notion databases can be helpful for you. And it's time to start our class project. First of all, let's create a new empty page for your habit tracker project. I recommend to enable full width page mode, as we are going to have a lot of data on this page. Now we have to create a trackers database. Let's do it by typing /database and choosing database inline in the drop-down menu. Newly created database in Notion has these two columns or properties, name and text. Any property in Notion databases belongs to one of the predefined property types. You can see it by clicking on a property name, then Edit Property. In here, in the Type menu, you can see all the available types. Property types are pretty intuitive, and in this class we will actively use these ones. Every type has its own unique icon, so you can get the property type just by looking at the icon to the left of its name. We don't need tags for our system, so we can just delete it. Name property is a special one. It is title. Title property is created automatically and can never be deleted or hidden. Sometimes it is really inconvenient, but for this project it's okay to have it here. Just let's give it another name. Now let's add 7 new properties, one for every day of week, so that we could track habit progress on daily basis. For this purpose, we will use checkbox property. Checkbox type is perfect in case there are only 2 possible values for a property, yes or no, true or false. In the context of habit tracking, we are going to mark if a habit-related action is done or not, just 2 possible values. So our needs are satisfied pretty well with checkboxes here. You can create every new column from scratch, or do the duplication, which will save you some time, because the type and the column width will be inherited from the source column, and you will only have to rename the property. The cool thing about checkboxes is that once you create a new record, empty checkboxes are already there, and you only need to tick it if a necessary action is done. But if you want to have a bit more colorful system, then try to use select type instead of checkboxes. Select columns allow to choose one option from a pre-configured drop-down menu. This column type is helpful if many different records in your database might share the same values for some property. For example, many books will pertain to the same genre, or your tasks will have statuses from a defined list of possible values, like to do, in progress, etc. It is good if you know beforehand the list of possible values for the drop-down menu, but it's not mandatory. You can add new items for drop-down menu later. And now I will show you an alternative database for trackers for those of you who prefer to have a more colorful system. Let's start from this point and add the first select column for Monday. I will add 3 pre-configured values, one for success, another one for fail, and the last one for rest days, which might be used to point out that habit is not supposed to be done in this day. And now I will duplicate this column for all the other days. Time to add tracker names for these records that Notion automatically added when creating the database. It's up to your imagination which notation to use: emojis, words, or numbers with colored backgrounds. Now you have to spend some more time to fill the tracker, and actually you will have a bit more complicated formulas for select columns later, but your system looks more colorful and have 3 instead of 2 options to choose from. I will return to the version with checkboxes, as I will use this one for our class, but I will add additional explanations for the version with selects when necessary, so you are free to choose the one you like the most. At this point, you actually can add trackers for your real habits. I will add names and some random progress to the records. We are done with this lesson. Now you are familiar with databases, their view, filtering options, and I hope now you have an idea of linked views in Notion. We also learned how to create a database and use checkboxes and select properties on practice. And in the next lesson we will start working with formulas. I'm waiting for you there.